Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I hope my voice is coming through good. I don't usually broadcast on Tuesdays, but we got Thanksgiving coming up, and so I'll be skipping a day on Thanksgiving. So here I am. I just popped on the screen, so unannounced, and I've got a lot of things I want to talk about. So I put up a serious thumbnail. This is not a game. As we all know, this is not a game, but seems like a lot of our fellow countrymen don't realize how serious, and women don't realize how serious things are. And I've been hearing that some people are saying Trump is running out of time to get things done, big things. So I don't know if you all are of the same mind, but I went over some posts today. I got myself engrossed in the CUE, right? And I'll tell you about that. And the thumbnail picture I put up, I don't know if you all got to see it or not. It's of a missile that was launched. And it's straight from the CUE post. So I figure that picture, if any picture would activate some kind of negative feelings toward me or towards this broadcast, that would be the picture, because that's a unreported assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump that nobody ever talked about. So, and we were misled to think it was a helicopter over Hawaii. You all remember that? Look at my thumbnail picture, and while you're out there, give me a thumbs up, because it helps the video get around. So anyway, been a long time since I've just done a talking head. As a matter of fact, that's the way I always used to broadcast, except maybe once a week I do a picture show. But lately, all I've been doing was picture shows. So today was researching and keeping up with the events of the day. Was Maduro going to evacuate? Were we going to go in and drag him out by the top of his head? No, I figured, it's too close to Thanksgiving. You know, we want people to enjoy their holidays, not have them be placed in any kind of dread or concern that would certainly be drummed up by the media during a time when they get to be with their families and enjoy their time off. It's not like the majority of Americans can just wait around for their benefits and their EBTs and all that kind of crap and sit around all day. People get up and go to work, and holidays are important. So, no, I don't look for anything to happen to this character. Maybe if he leaves voluntarily, we shall see. Who in the world is Mountain Man Hairface? How you doing? Okay. I took a weed eater last month and trimmed it back, and it's all popping back out again. Hair up fast. Hair up fast. Hi, Roland. How you doing? Kicking Bird. Nice to see you. Randy. Bubba. Yeah, it's our one chance to get it right. Darla, nice to see you. Rain, nice to see you. Graybeard, how you doing? Yeah, Graybeard said hit the thumbs up. Debbie's here. That was a missile in Hawaii. I've got it into my studio. I have to jump out and read some stuff, and sometimes my sound goes out, so I got to come back to the screen, go back to and a reading, back and forth, back and forth. But I'll do my best. Hi, Angela. How are you doing? Gary's here. Pappy Two Bears. You know, I didn't think I was going to go live tonight because I don't go up Tuesdays. And when I do that, I get myself in trouble because I go on different sites And inevitably, I get a back and forth with some nitwit that feels that no person is illegal and these aren't criminals. These are just people that you hear, but trying to get a better life for themselves, and it makes me so upset. And I try not to respond to these people, but I do sometimes. Sometimes I do. I don't want to get myself in trouble or get reported or anything, so I try to watch what I say. But I'll tell you a little bit of a back and forth I had with one of those idiots. And we got to codify the message where we're not insulting or violating terms of service, but being plump and plain about what's going on. The do-gooders are giving away our country, letting our country be overrun. And I'm sick of it because we're all paying for it. Yeah. So anyway, and as I was saying, I was doing a little research. A couple of days ago, I was going to put in there and look at. I was going to put "This is not a game" because I know that's been said many times on the boards, and that's what I put in my thumbnail picture. And that picture pops up when you put those words in. That is when there was a missile launched near Air Force One, and it was intercepted. Actually, there were two missiles, but I won't get into that. And it made me think about all the attempts on Donald Trump that have not been reported. Well, they were initially reported, but then they never bring it up again. If anything like the things happened to Donald Trump happened to Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? You'd never hear the end of it. You'd never hear it. Oh, they'd be doing specials. Remember when the Secret Service agent? What happened to the Secret Service agent, folks? It got reported on the news. Maybe twice. And it was an attempt on Donald Trump's life. Do you remember what happened? See if anybody in the chats gets it. Hi, Mac. How you doing? Well, they'll have to do something, Roland, but maybe the jihadis or the radical, not all Islam. I've told a story about a friend of mine who was a Muslim, and I told that story a number of times. He passed away, unfortunately. No, it's a good guess. The Secret Service agent, the golf course. No, that's not the one I believe it was in Italy. Hi, Kim. How are you? I think it was in Italy. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Do you all remember? This was reported in the media that someone shot the bedroom window at Mar-a-Lago. Remember that? These aren't conspiracies. This was reported in the media. And Donald Trump was very upset. And there's bulletproof glass up there, and the bullet was actually lodged in the glass. You don't hear nothing about that. Hi, Christina. You don't hear anything about the rocket that got intercepted. You don't hear anything about the bullet that got shot at Mar-a-Lago. Oceanside, came from Oceanside. They believe it was very sophisticated equipment from a helicopter. And the trajectory of the bullet would have gone right into Mr. T's pillow. And he was very angry. Do you all remember that? How many average people know that? Yeah, that's right, Kim. I wasn't going to go live tonight, but I'm not going on live Thanksgiving evening. And I had a horrible time last night. I had a horrible time. I spend more time trying to control the studio and pull up pictures and deal with buffering. Uh, and it always seems to happen when I'm talking about Ukraine and Brazil. So Bubba remembers. Christina remembers. Great, yeah, the paraglider event at the golf course. That was a yeah. No, he died. You're right, Graybeard. That's when the Secret Service agent was testing Donald Trump's food, and he perished. He perished. So wait a minute, I'm getting ahead of myself. We got the rocket attack, which is a picture on my thumbnail. This is not a game thumbnail. You have the bullet hitting Mar-a-Lago and being embedded in the glass. You have the paraglider in Scotland, even though they said that was just a protester. Well, we'll just let that one slide. But you had the Secret Service agent testing Donald Trump's food, and it was poisoned. Then you have the golf course nut, and you have Crouch, the one who's expired now, who had some instant dental work done. Hi, Sherry, nice to see you. And you don't hear any reports of that. And it just makes me angry. And I'm sure I can think of more. I'm sure I can think of more. I'm sure the regular media knows about it too, but they'll never report it. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? The poison attempt was during his first term when he was in Scotland. Graybeard remembered. And a paraglider came and interrupted, and everybody had to go inside the building. They were on the balcony. All right, I'm coming in loud and clear. That's good. Well, I switched services, but also I have to remember there's a huge storm system cutting through very slowly, covering I don't know how much area, and it all depends on where your satellites are. If they're to the north, I mean to the north or to the east or the west or the south, where they're at, coming at an angle, it can really affect. But I don't think it's that. I think I was talking about stuff that's aggravating people. I said last week, and I was the only one that I saw even mention it, that peace was coming to Ukraine. Now, Ukraine was going to have a deal whether they liked it or not. Okay. And after that, during that broadcast, I got those disturbing embeds in my data about, I talked about Maduro have to go. He's going to go. And I talked about our hemisphere was going to get cleaned up, that Putin was going to clean his backyard up. We're going to clean our backyard up. Monroe Doctrine. Next thing you know, I get pictures of Bolsonaro's head in a net, multiple copies of that, his head on the soccer field, multiple copies of generals and officials in Ukraine sitting at their desks staring at the camera. What the hell do I need with that? But combat videos multiple times uploaded, and then troubles with the broadcast. I don't care what people say. They can get in your phone. They can get in your computer. Not at any time, but if they work on you a little bit, they'll figure it out. They'll get in through StreamYard or something like StreamYard, not necessarily StreamYard itself, but some kind of manner to get in and plop stuff into your device. Who's coming in? Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So, did you know that they call them shadow tankers? Hey, did you all hear that on November 13th, a U.S. frigate intercepted a Russian shadow tanker? Well, it was either a tanker or a cargo ship. They're a shadow fleet because of sanctions, because of the tensions between Washington, namely Donald J. Trump, and the Maduro regime. They intercepted it, and Russia had to turn it around. It was if we had any other president, first of all, that boat wouldn't have been intercepted, and if they did, it would have been tensions or, oh my God, there's going to be a war break out in the Gulf or international incident. No. They just said, okay, and turned around and left. So Venezuela's blockaded to a certain degree, and their airspace is shut down, last I heard. And the reports were coming out today that Trump is going to speak with Maduro. Maduro is practically begging Trump to speak with him. And Trump said about another issue a couple of days ago, he said, I'll speak to anybody. He looked at the report and said, I speak to you, don't I? If I'll speak to you, I'll speak to anybody. So that was when Mom Dami was coming to see him. He said, yeah, I'll talk to anybody. So now we got Maduro. I guess this is the week of the commie for coming around talking to Trump. And I don't know if that occurred today or not. Maybe tomorrow they'll speak. And I think what's being told is he's being told to pack up his hush puppies and get the hell out of there, or else. And I don't know what the optics would be for it to happen right about now, right here at the holidays. Maybe it will, but so many things are tied together, like the seditious comments that were made. We all know it. We all saw the video. Trump was turning up the heat, and he's going to make a move to put a stop to this crap coming out of Venezuela and these other narco states. It's not just limited to Venezuela. We've had enough of this crap. And they knew it. This Senator, what's his face? He knew it, that something was going to happen. Well, Trump has already declared armed conflict. As a matter of fact, I got my whole channel taken down because somebody complained on me that I used that phraseology on my thumbnail. I appealed and showed that ABC said the same thing, that Trump formally notified Congress we were in armed conflict. And I got the copy of the email. They said, we made a mistake. Hope you do well, have a great day, and put my channel back up. But all my videos were taken down over that. Remember? And I was gone before that for a week, right when we had one of our one of our friends in the chats facing a terrible illness. Oh, by the way, Nate the lawyer is did a live stream for about an hour and was very lively. Some kind of miracle, they got that mass out of his head, and he's got the side of his head shaved, and he using a lot of cuss words, but he's in a good mood and seems energetic for having gone into surgery, 3 days ago, maybe 4. So yeah, just give you an update on that. So anyway, it's tied together in so many ways. The Ukraine, Putin, the U.S., Ukraine, Russia stuff is tied together. We're cleaning out our backyard. These treasonous comments were made, in my opinion, because they knew Trump was going to order major military actions if Maduro didn't do as he was told, and Mexico too. Something could happen there anytime. And they knew damn good and well that they were suborning insubordination. There's other terms for it. They were stirring up trouble, and they knew damn good and well they were stirring up trouble. So they're being referred because 5 of them aren't eligible to be recalled for court martial, active duty for a courts martial, and but they can be charged domestic law that it's against the law to encourage mutiny or to cause, or to encourage troops to be disloyal. So yeah, all those 5 are being referred for criminal charges, and they should be. And and it's funny too, because I saw yesterday, I didn't get a chance to put it up on live stream. I think it's 3 or 5 generals in Israel got removed because of their actions October 7th, 2023. The military held an inquiry about what was happening, and the inquiry apparently took a very long time. And there's a certain, I've got it in my studio. Next time I do a picture show, I'll try to put that up. Remember to put that up. But it's 3 to 5 generals got removed now for something that happened in 2023. Now, we don't need that kind of delay in this situation. I think we need to have America go through the holidays, enjoy the reduction in gas prices. If you notice, they spiked a couple of days ago. Not real bad, but enough to notice. Isn't it funny? Who's playing that game? Who's playing that game to try to minimize Trump's successes? So I didn't get to do as much research tonight as I want to do on the CUE board, but I remember them saying something to the effect of traders everywhere. Okay? Or maybe they used a different term. Okay? I'll have to find it. But that's what I was talking about last night while my stream was breaking up. We've got people being seditious, behaving in a seditious manner in the Congress. We've got it in the Bar Association. We got them in the judiciary. And we got them in the military, not nearly as much. But hopefully we can use this, what's their talking point now? This moment, Kamala was saying that. What are you going to do this moment? Well, we can use this moment to start rooting them out. And judges don't have to be impeached. They got their own little system, you know. They can get the mushroom treatment. You all know what the mushroom treatment is, right? Eh, You know, as far as cases, just like they manipulated the case selection when they gave the case to Boasberg. Uh, he was on vacation, 2 o'clock in the morning or 1 o'clock in the morning, something like that. He ends up getting an emergency case. When he, how did he? They steer him. They steer the cases. Well, that can work two ways. I'll tell you what the mushroom treatment is. You keep somebody in the dark, and every once in a while, you throw a little poo poo on them. That's the mushroom treatment. So they can give some of these judges the mushroom treatment, and you know their actions are being reviewed. Hi, Mike. How you doing, Miss Menderson? Nice to see you. Yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, oil prices are down, but the gas spiked up about what was it? I think it was 3 days ago. It went from 288 or something like that to 304 out of the blue. So people are manipulating prices, short selling or doing something. Hi, Christina. Uh, People are manipulating stuff, but you know, do we need a major disruption that even if it's not a horrifying situation, the media will make it seem horrifying during the holidays? Or is the table being set for when people get back? I say, I think it would be, they'd be more inclined, as I was saying, to let people enjoy the cheaper gas prices, the 25 to 30% cheaper Thanksgiving dinner, and all the optics for all the crap they're throwing at America. I was going to say MAGA. I was going to say Trump, but no, I must say America because the power they're giving to the left is a canard. It's a facade. We know the vote totals are fraudulent. We know now, and well, we've always known that the views, the thumbs ups, the comments in the comment section are from foreign entities or bots from with a foreign origin. But they make it seem as if there's thousands and thousands of people clamoring for the Epstein files is a good example. But they're not nearly as powerful as they're saying. So all the garbage they've thrown at America is backfiring on them. So the conversation around the dinner table isn't they don't have the ammo. A lot of them are just not even going to come. The weirdo relatives, you know, with the purple hair and the nose rings, because they have nothing to argue. They look foolish. So yeah, this is like this. Let me see if I can keep from losing my stream. I saw this one video, and the way they put it up, the title is "Man with a taco stand gets tackled and deported Man with a taco stand gets tackled and deported. And it's like a 4-minute video. And they said, well, he was, ICE came and raided his taco stand, and he'd been around for 20 years, and it frightened his family, and his customers were horrified. And then they had the people in the taco stand saying, oh, this is terrible to see this happen in our country. So somebody said, why don't you all tell us the real story and quit uh, taking up for illegals or something like that. And I responded to him. I said, no, he said, this isn't real journalism. Why don't you tell all the facts and don't take up for one side? And I said, it's not journalism. I said, it's propaganda. The do-gooders love it. And about an hour went by, and I get a comment from somebody named, I can't even pronounce it, Aoitet Sugskusha. I didn't bomb them out for being a foreigner. Usually I'll just respond to them by saying, self-deport. Do everybody a favor, self-deport. But I didn't. But anyway, he said, what part of the story are you claiming is misrepresented? And I said, oh, just the fact that he's gotten away with criminal presence in our country. I don't care about the pity and sympathy BS. He needs to go. Fine him, seize the assets, and deport. Anyone who knowingly aided and abetted must be prosecuted also. Get it? Now, I didn't insult anybody. I said I'm sick of people coming in the country with a criminal presence. Trump said, if you don't self-report and we catch you, we will fine you and we will confiscate your property and deport you, and you won't be able to come back. And that's what I reiterated. Well, Oyoit Sugskusha came back and said, keep your hormones under control, regardless of your feelings. Lack of citizenship or documentation is not a federal crime, and certainly not a local crime in San Diego. Moreover, the story accurately presented his immigration status, so your complaint about it not presenting the elements you personally and incorrectly feel are crimes is invalid. Were y'all able to hear me the whole way through? So right away, there's a liberal talking point. It's not a crime to be undocumented. Well, that's BS. Entering is, they say, a civil matter, and this and that. It's staying, okay, and refusing to leave is a crime. So, but that's one of their big talking points. They're not criminal. They're just here undocumented. Well, they're wrong. So my response, I didn't hear anything back. I said, wrong. Staying in the country is a crime, Einstein. I'm tired of do-gooder loser libs thinking it's okay and even noble to allow our country to be overrun. Pathetic. Fine them, confiscate their property, deport and prosecute those that aid and abet. It's the law and needs enforcement. No more games. That's exactly what I typed in there. No more games. So I didn't hear anything else back from him. People are worried, oh, what's AI going to do to people when they look stuff up? I wouldn't worry about it too much because they can't even Google facts. They're too stupid to even Google facts. So what the hell about AI? Their mentality, Sparky. I got no idea what about my hormones. I almost, I think they're goading me into saying something about trannies or something like that. I just stuck with vax. I have no idea why they brought up hormones. He's apparently from San Diego, so who the hell knows? You know, I was telling you that I was doing a CUE research, and I was going to look up This Is Not a Game. Well, I changed my search a little bit. You got to be real careful with what words you pick. So I put in is not a. Is not a. That's all I put in there and hit the search button. I got 135 posts or so, and they were all interesting. This is not a game. This is not another 4-year election. Well, wait a minute. Was that the words I used? Let's see. Because Ephesians came up a lot. Ephesians is not a. Is not a. So I would tell you if you want to have a little fun with just going down memory lane, put those 3 words in there. It's a simple search. You find out about you get reminded, okay, about the helicopter assassination attempt. You get reminded about. Did you ever hear of John Perry Barlow? John Perry Barlow, Edward Snowden. Well, I'll let you all find that out on your own. Well, I might talk about it a little bit. Oh, really, Felix? Yeah, these judges are being outright traitorous. Trump went on another truth storm, put about stuff that's very Q-ish. One post I got was actually number 2. Post number 2. Do you know what date the first post came up with in the CUE? The first post was October 28th, 2017. And it was about Hillary being detained. Remember that, folks? Somebody posted it in the message board. The black box that CUE puts up if they find it an interesting comment. Somebody put in, Hillary Clinton will be arrested between 7:45 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Monday, the morning on October 30th, 2017. That was the first post number 1. Now that's not the 17th letter. That's somebody commenting on the message board. They said the actual 17th letter responded. HRC extradition already in motion, effective yesterday, with several countries in case of cross-border run. Passport approved to be flagged, effective 10:30 at 12:01 a.m. Expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. M's will conduct the operation. What? I guess that's the Marines. I gotta make sure I don't jump out of here. Now, so what I'm pointing out is the 17th letter never said she was going to be arrested on a specific date. That was somebody in the message board said that. CUE just clarified that the passport would be flagged. Okay. And expect massive riots organized in defiance and others fleeing the U.S. to occur. U.S. M's will conduct the operation while National Guard activated. Proof check. Locate a National Guard member and ask if activated for duty 10:30 across major cities. That what I'm pointing out is because I've heard people say it, and in my lackadaisical thoughts at the beginning of this operation, which was years ago, 2017, 9 years ago. I mean, no, yeah, roughly 8 years ago. My lackadaisical thinking was, Q predicted her being arrested and it never happened. No, I just read it to you. Somebody on the boards commented, they posted that comment and said her passport was going to be flagged. And when stuff goes down, will be when the National Guard is activated. Never gave a date. So, well, Mountain Man Hairface, he does his show, I do mine. I mean, I'm like Frank. I don't I talk about Nate the lawyer because he had a tumor in his brain. But other than that, no, I don't go along with mention other channels. I used to watch him, but it's like hours of my time having somebody else read news articles, and some half-baked analysis that I just don't agree with. So, I mean, it gets you pumped up, but no, I'm talking. I'm talking about discernment and analysis from the very beginning. Right now, that's what I'm talking about. I don't know what Barry Cunningham's talking about. I'm talking about right now the genesis and what is happening internationally with Venezuela, Russia, and the actions that are going to be happening as far as people being arrested for sedition and treason as they try to foil Donald J. Trump. So I'm just setting the record straight that the first post was not a prediction with a date specific time by the CUE. It was not. And the response was a general response. But the second post, I want to ask you all a question. Let me read it to you. Second post was the same day, right? It says, Mockingbird, HRC detained, not arrested yet. Where is Huma? Follow Huma. This has nothing to do with Russia yet. Why does POTUS surround himself with generals What is military intelligence? Why go around the three-letter agencies? What Supreme Court case allows for the use of military versus congressional assembled and approved agencies? Military intelligence. Who has ultimate authority over branches of military without approval conditions unless 90 plus in wartime conditions? Unless 90 plus in wartime conditions. I think they're saying the president has control of the military in wartime conditions, total control. I think they're saying unless 90 plus of the flag officers disagree. Okay? But anyway, that's not the question I want to ask you. I'm going to get down to it in a minute. What is the military code? Where is AW being held? Question mark. Why? Question mark. Where is AW being held? Why? My question to the chats. Now, this was October 28th, 2017, the second post ever to go up. Who is AW? Hi, Cole. How you doing? Who's AW? Who's AW? Second post, 2017. We know a lot of the initials. AS is Adam Schiff and stuff like that. Anthony Weiner. Aha. Roland said Alaweed. That's the Saudi prince that got snatched up. I don't think it was ever clarified who AW was. Do you think it could have been? Who else is AW? Who else is AW? Think about it, folks. And got it. No, you didn't, Dan. I'm sorry. No, you didn't get it. I got somebody else in mind. I'm sorry, I screwed up. I got somebody else in mind. AW. It may be to throw people off. Everybody say, "Oh, that's Anthony Weiner. Oh, that's Alaweed." Who else could it be? Donald Trump's mentioned his name. Mark got it. Andrew Weissman. Donald Trump just mentioned his name three days ago with only about a total of 3 people that were his top suspects. And I've been talking about it for 2 years. So it could be Andrew Weissman. So if that was the case, what many of you are saying in the chats has been good. This is a show, and that many people have been dealt with already. POTUS will not go on TV to address the nation. POTUS must insulate himself to prevent negative optics. POTUS knew removing criminal rogue elements as a first step was essential to free and pass legislation. Remove criminal rogue elements. Who has access to everything classified? the president. So we're told two important things right there. We have to remove rogue elements, which is happening right and left. I think we're coming up with some more. And who has access to all classified information is Donald Trump. Where was I at? Wait a minute. I don't want to. I don't want to get dumped out of my broadcast. Okay, here we go. Let me see. Do you believe Hillary Rodham Clinton, Soros, Obama, etc. have more power than Trump? Fantasy. Whoever controls the office of the presidency controls this great land. They never believe for a moment they, the Democrats and Republicans, would lose control. This is not an R versus D battle. Why did Soros donate all his money recently? Why would he place all his funds in ARC? Mockingbird 10/30/17. God bless fellow patriots. What's RC? What's RC, folks? All right, Todd. Have a good evening, buddy. No, RC. He said, why did Soros put all his money in RC? I'm having a brain spasm. I can't think. I don't know what that means. Well, anyways, it's so that's a good guess. Receiving corporation. That might be it. I don't know. But I tell you what, I came up with so much stuff from just putting those two words in that I'm like, man, this has been a long haul. And that's why I had been saying for years that we're in for a long march. But we're definitely coming to a seminal moment. There was a channel up last I checked this afternoon. It had been up for 12 hours straight. Some news channel that had a satellite feed of a picture of a plane supposedly waiting to take Maduro out of Venezuela. And I watched it for a little while, but I wouldn't sit there and stare at a plane on a tarmac from a satellite. But there were people in the chats making comments, stuff, waiting for Maduro to leave. I doubt they're still watching it, but that's been the word on the street that he was going to go. And I want to ask you all something else about your prowess of memory. Who was H.R. McMaster? Who was H.R. McMaster? Now, this is when Trump was president, remember? Because I came across a post, and I've talked a little bit about it in the past, about H.R. McMaster's father. Because it's not just the missile strike against Trump and the assassination attempts against Trump. We've had other people suffer. We've had other people lose their lives. He was National Security Advisor. Hawks, how you doing? Well, this came up. Officials investigating suspicious death of McMaster's father. That was in April of 2018. Death of father. Trump's national security. You're right. Breaking. Nurse charged in death of National Security Advisor H.R. McMaster's father at Philadelphia Senior Care Facility. That was a month later. Well, the post was father failure to retain president's ear. Good versus evil. Think State of the Union. Coincidence? So the insinuation was that the evil ones took revenge on McMaster because he wouldn't play ball with messing with Donald Trump, and they got his father. That's the insinuation. But you know what? Some of this stuff you got to really prepare yourself for. At least, if you're sensitive, and a lot of us are. Um, there's a picture. Oh my God. There's a picture of somebody squatting with a hospital mask on, and I counted 13 or 14. Some of them are covered up, not many. Most of them are just laid out. And the way I want to say it is so I don't get in trouble. It's infants who hadn't been born yet, and he's sorting them out. He's got them laying on little hospital mats on the floor. You know what I'm talking about? FET fetuses, different sizes, ages. It's an actual photograph. It's not, fake. And the post that goes with it says reality is hard to swallow. Fake news keeps you asleep, sheep, and fixed in pre-designed false reality narrative. Google altering search results to support pre-designed narrative and make it harder for one to learn the truth. How many times have I sat there and showed you all my news feed that I don't ask for, but they just pump it in my phone because they want me to start to believe their narrative, right? Just like this guy, the hormone guy talking hormones, saying it's not illegal. It's not a crime to be here illegally. That's a lie, but they believe it because the press keeps repeating it. Those with influence who challenge the narrative are banned, shunned, and threatened. Boy, don't we know that. You go against the narrative, you get your channel taken down, you get messed with. That's why I'm from parts unknown. If I get any weirdos or freakos coming around me, it ain't going to end well. Planned Parenthood is good. That's the narrative. China is not a threat. That's the narrative. Do you know the market price for a fetus? Correlation of market price and days old of the fetus slash baby. As age days increases, so does the value, question mark. Remember, folks, we talked about, and I read that article about a couple of professors at the University of Pennsylvania that got arrested. And they are doing an investigation. They may have more sealed indictments. I don't know. But they had allegedly fetuses that were older than the period of gestation, if you get what I'm saying. Living human experimentation. So this is the post I'm reading you that's going along with this photo of a guy sitting on the floor with sorting out these different innocent human beings. And there's a link to Fox News. Politics, Senate to vote on Born Alive bill to protect infants who survive a failed abortion. And then the post goes on to say, Democrats block Born Alive bill, question mark. Planned Parenthood, political donations, question mark. What party, question mark. Planned Parenthood donates all their money to Democrats. Well, wait a minute. The government funds Planned Parenthood, so they just funnel the money right back to the Democrats. Boy, isn't that a new trick we've never heard of before? Do you believe this has anything to do with a woman's right to choose? Welcome to the real world. You know, and when you read this, you just get chills up your back. When you see the photograph that I just described to you. And when you hear about these University of Pennsylvania so-called professors or doctors or whatever the hell they call themselves. What needs to happen to people like that? So as far back as 2019, what are we talking about? 5 years ago, half a decade on the CUE boards, and it was probably mentioned more than once. They're talking about flooding the country with illegal immigrants. Important to read and understand. Article from Breitbart. Red state Democrat governors approve more refugees. Important to read and understand. Why do Democrats want to flood the U.S. with illegal immigrants? This is not another four-year election. Our democracy is at stake. Power and control. Do not mistake this back channel, this tool, as a means to be complacent. Fight, fight, fight. Your voice and your vote matters. That was in December of 2019. Fight, fight, fight. What did Trump say right after Thomas Cook shot him in the ear? Fight, fight, fight. So there's another proof. You'll see posts with John Brennan. And He put out a tweet in 2018 while Trump was president. John Brennan. Didn't Christy Nome say that he was what she all but said, an enemy combatant, a enemy of the state? But anyway, here's what John Brennan was saying in 2018. Donald Trump put out a tweet that said PM Justice Trudeau of Canada acted so meek and mild during our G7 meeting, only to give a news conference after I left saying that the U.S. tariffs were kind of insulting and he will not be pushed around. Very dishonest and weak. Our tariffs are in response to his 270% on dairy. So Trump was talking about tariffs back during his first term, 2018. What did John Brennan respond to Donald Trump? Your wrong-headed protectionist policies and antics are damaging our global standing as well as our national interests. Your worldview does not represent American ideals. To allies and friends, be patient. Mr. Trump is a temporary aberration. The America you once knew will return. So there's John Brennan in 2018 telling foreign powers to ignore the President of the United States. And Trump was giving people a little hint, a little lead up to what's going to change our lives economically for years to come, which is tariffs. It's going to replace this communist tax system we have. Yeah, we're all in agreement on Brennan. He's a communist. Where's where'd well, I'm just looking through the chats. Yeah. Anyway, let me see what else I came up with. You know, I want to talk about these. I'll go through some more CUE posts in a minute. But this business of the seditious comments made by the seditious six. If you have any discussions with anybody, oh, they didn't mean, oh, they shouldn't go to jail, oh, they have the right to free speech. The media doesn't put out enough. The fact of the matter is that Trump has declared the cartels, okay, to be terrorist organizations. He's already gave a declaration to Congress that we're in an armed conflict. The bottom line is that military members being in harm's way is either happening now or imminent. Combat is imminent or actually underway. And they know that, especially that senator. What's his name? that makes it even more egregious what they're doing. It's always egregious to stir up insubordination, to entice or incite people to violate their oath. But when you're in a period of armed conflict, it's even more egregious. Sandman, how you doing? Kelly, yeah. Is it Mark Kelly? Is that his name? I just call him. I don't want to say. So anyway, I think if they don't get charged and convicted, we got problems. If people can't see the seriousness of it. I want to see. There's one post I pulled up that has a link to a PDF, and I almost used it as my thumbnail. And I would encourage you all, if you want to be more detail oriented about what's happening, this post has a link to a publication in January 2009. The U.S. government put out a publication. I uploaded the PDF because I want to peruse some of it. But it is U.S. Government Counterinsurgency Guide, January 2009. And the CUE board puts a link to that, and it says, read it slowly and read it carefully. And the foreword to the book says irregular warfare is far more varied than a conventional conflict. Hence the importance of intellectual framework that is coherent enough to provide guidance and flexible enough to adapt to circumstances. American counterinsurgency practice rests on a number of assumptions that the decisive effort is rarely military, although security is essential prerequisite for success. Their efforts must be directed to the creation of local and national government structures that will serve populations and over time replace the efforts of my mic will go out. Did my mic go out? Okay. That superior knowledge and, in particular, understanding of the human terrain is essential, and that we must have the patience to persevere in what will necessarily prove long struggles. Long struggles. That is one of the reasons I said when everybody thought, me included for a period, that things were going to go down, that Biden was going to get yanked out, that all this stuff was going to happen. We are the counterinsurgency. A lot of people don't understand that. We're dealing with an insurgency managed by foreign powers and domestic traitors. We are the counterinsurgency. We're the counterinsurgency. And if you want to know how to be effective in the counterinsurgency, you go to post. Remember, you hit the hashtag number 4008, and it will have a link to the U.S. government counterinsurgency guide. Okay? And, people may think it's tedious, but if you try to understand what they're saying, right there would have saved a lot of people a lot of stress and misery and heartache if they would have seen that this is a long haul. And we're coming to the end of the long haul for a lot of stuff. For a lot of stuff. We have had communist influence 90 miles off our shore for 60, 70 years with Cuba. That's going to end. Insurgency is the organized use of subversion and violence to seize, nullify, or challenge political control of a region. As such, it is primarily a political struggle in which both sides use armed forces to create space for their political, economic, and influence activities to be effective. Insurgency is not always conducted by a single group with a centralized military-style command structure, but may involve a complex matrix. What are we talking about, complex matrix? I know I'm getting a little bookish and stuff. We're talking BLM, we're talking Antifa, we're talking Transtifa. You're talking about all these oddball groups. That's why when you see them trying to disrupt ICE, you see anything from 70, 65-year-old boomers in their Dockers shoes to purple-haired freaks and people dressed up like furries. You got a hodgepodge. Is exactly what they're saying here. This insurgency, they're influenced by these groups, a complex matrix of different actors with various aims, loosely connected in dynamic and non-hierarchical networks. To be successful, insurgencies require charismatic leadership, supporters, recruits, supplies, safe havens, and funding, often from illicit activities. Charismatic leader, can you say Barack Hussein Obama getting their money from illicit activities? Can you say PPE loans? Can you say USAID? So, yeah, if you want to go through some of the finer points about insurgency and counterinsurgency, I would encourage you to look at that post. Here's an example. The mainstream media. Now, you all heard that MSNBC is now called MS Now, right? Well, I was watching a video earlier today where somebody said the MS Now bunch, I think it was Doug TenNapel, was 4008 Graybeard. Barack Hussein Obama, have you heard of him? That MS Now was like behaving themselves and looking like they were turning toward the good. I don't believe that. I believe Comcast got rid of them so they don't get pretty much commandeered when when the you know what hits the fan, the president can take over infrastructure and newspapers if he has to. But I think they're behaving themselves more because they don't have the protections of Comcast and these huge corporations anymore. MS Now is basically bloggers, just like me, getting up and talking. If they get sued, they don't have a big company backing them up. They just got their little narrow rear ends hanging out there. I think that's what the story is behind that. If they're moderating their content at all, it's because they are more personally vulnerable. But who's financing them? Who's keeping their wheels greased? But Eyewitness News is ABC, right? They put up about 2 hours ago. Here you got the stuff bubbling in Venezuela. You got reports coming out that Zelensky is accepting the Ukraine Trump's peace deal, and Putin is warm to it too, and that they might have a trilateral summit: Zelensky, Putin, and Trump. This is all coming out. What does Eyewitness News put up? A federal judge on Monday ordered the DOJ to expedite the processing of a Freedom of Information Act request related to the Trump administration's decision in July not to release files from the investigation of Epstein. Judge's ruling could shed light on why Trump administration reversed course on vow to release Epstein files. That's what they're talking about, going back to Epstein. And something that happened back in July when we've got this stuff going on right now. Man, the comments, I got in there early because they only had to post up a little while. And all the people were saying, what's wrong with you all? You know, why don't you report on real news? Oh, this is stupid. What are you talking about? So I put my comment in too, you know. You should have your license revoked. You're just a bunch of propagandists stirring up trouble. And I think ABC is going to have their license yanked. And I think it will be war number 9. Hi, Rebecca. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Oh, that's the thing. Money's now being traced. Yeah. Well, let me tell you something else that I was thinking about. This Mamdani thing. Trump meeting with Mamdani. I had a video from Steve Bannon. He had John Solomon on there. And they were postulating, you know, was Trump playing 5D chess, or are they working together, or was Mamdani blindsided? I'll play that video for, you know, I should have it. I'm going live tomorrow, and then I'm not going to go live Thanksgiving, okay? That's why I'm going live tonight. But think about this for a minute. This is the first time in how many years the government of New York City is being taken over and accessed by a complete outsider. Think about that. Going to be accessed and controlled by somebody who's not part of the machine. What's the ramifications of that? And I saw Cuomo ranting and raving that he blamed Curtis Sliwa or whatever his name is for him losing. So they're going to go in there, whether or not Mamdani is a plant working with the white hats. They're going to be able to get all kinds of stuff out of there. They're going to be approached by so many crooked people to try to influence them. People that have normally stayed in the shadows. And that's what I was thinking about with Marjorie Taylor Greene, too. There's a couple of things with that. I talked about it a little bit, but I don't know how much you heard him from my broadcast last night. Was so bad. Marjorie Taylor Greene got herself, whether by design or not, in a tough political position. People knew about her net worth rocketing skyward. Trump had nothing to do with it. Her enemies had nothing to do with it. It was a bad look. Do you think she just grabbed the opportunities and didn't think about the political consequences? I don't care who they were. Somebody to get that kind of an unfair advantage, congressional stock trades, and make $25 million in 48 months. That's hard to work with. It's a bad look. Or do you think that she allowed people to bring her things? Let me give you an example. The FBI tried to frame Tom Homan. They came to him with a bag, a brown bag full of $50,000. They videotaped the interaction. What Tom Homan did was not illegal. Can you say the same thing about those FBI agents? See what I'm saying? What benefits Marjorie Taylor Greene got may not have been illegal to receive, but the people that brought her brown bag, or bags in the plural, maybe they were the ones stepping over the line. So what did we find out from the attempt to sully Tom Homan? We found out who the bad players were in the FBI. What did Tom Homan do? He took the $50,000. Thank you very much. What happened to the FBI? They're out $50,000. For what? For nothing. What were they trying to do? They were trying to frame a person. They were conducting an operation for political purposes. And they've got caught. Who is going to answer for that 50 grand? And with Marjorie Taylor Greene's 25 million, maybe it's a number of different transactions. Her accepting those situations were not illegal. But did it bring people out of the woodwork, showing methods, modus operandi, for these other Congress people? Were they offering bribes? Were they trying to set her up? See what I'm saying, folks? So when it got right down to it, I believe Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene both knew and have been knowing for quite some time that no matter what you do right now, it's a bad look. It would hurt her chances of retaining her seat. It would be a point she would get attacked on, and she could lose the seat in 2006. And there ain't no fixing it. Unless you did a big bust on all the people who were breaking the law. You like with Tom Homan, if you just said, okay, you guys with the FBI, you're crooked cops, you're dirty cops, we're gonna bust you and tell the American people what happened. If you're gonna go ahead and expose the operation, but I don't think they're exposing operations right now. So how do you have Marjorie Taylor Greene step out of her party, step out of the race, enough time to have somebody replace her, and make it all look like it's a little political infighting, and at the same time create demand for the Epstein files, interest in the Epstein files, Trump to act like, I don't want you all to look at this, I want you to look at that. You see what I'm saying? Operations are faceted. They're faceted operations. So Trump is not upset that Marjorie Taylor Greene's leaving. He's not angry at her. He's doing the same type of op he did with Ron DeSantis, the same type of op he did with Marco Rubio. She's not overly distraught, and there's plenty of time for a replacement person to come in, pick up the MAGA flag, and we retain that seat. Does that all make sense to you all, folks? Do you think they know everybody involved in that attempt to frame Tom Homan? Do you think they might have plucked others out of the woodwork they really didn't have any proof on, that were on the Peter Strzok, Bob Mueller, Lisa Page bandwagon? Don't forget, what's the one? Nellie Orr, Bruce Orr. They're getting deeper into the traders' infrastructure with that move with Tom Homan. Yeah, Roland, free Tina Peters. I know one thing, if I didn't break the law and somebody offered me a bag with $50,000, it's going home with me. And they can answer for it. I can take a bag with 100,000 in it. Whether the communists like it or not, cash is still a thing. Yeah, I was just looking at the assassination attempts. That's what got me wanting to broadcast tonight. How serious this stuff is, and all the past posts that got us into realizing how evil the crap we're in. They've tried to kill Donald Trump. They've been selling human body parts. They've been stealing our money by the billions. They've been allowing millions of foreign people into this country and acting like they're the heroes for doing it. And it is destroying the fabric of our country. You know, my question is, and I don't want to be a clickbaiter, is something big going to go down? Because I'm back to where John Solomon was saying, I think it was John Solomon, was saying that Trump is running out of time. If he doesn't get the economy turned around, if he doesn't get the SAFE Act passed for the vote, it's over. We would lose the House in the midterms. They would do everything in their power to remove Trump and put him in jail, like Bolsonaro's. He got ordered today to federal prison, serving a 26-year sentence, the former president of Brazil. So he's saying Trump is running out of time. I don't think Trump is acting like he's running out of time. I don't see a urgency. I see him working hard and focused like he always does. But I don't see, I just don't know what the breaking point is going to be. And we got Thanksgiving knocking on the door. Would he do some operation, or would it be the best time to do an operation so people got something to talk about during Thanksgiving? Maybe high-profile arrests like John Brennan. Bill and Hillary, they're not going to show up further subpoenas. They're subject to arrest. I think they'll be given another deadline. So I don't think that'll happen before Thanksgiving. But I don't think there would be anything warlike with Venezuela and send the nation into Thanksgiving when, what's another week when you've been dealing with these commies for 10 years. And I already talked about how they stole Cargill Corporation, an American company, took all their assets, all the land, all the cash in the accounts, all the equipment, and nationalized it. Nobody did anything. Obama, Bush, nobody. So what's another week? Why would you throw the nation into distress and worry at Thanksgiving over some garbage like Maduro? You can handle him after Thanksgiving. So tomorrow is the last day before Thanksgiving, okay? And then you got Black Friday, which is very important for the economy. You don't want to have people scared and nervous, right? Going into a holiday. But if you can have something justifiable, some measure of justice, like the Chris Farley meme screaming at Pam Bondi, for God, for the love of God, just arrest somebody. If we could get something like that. By the way, folks, I want to thank Gary and Wayne and Mike and Bev for helping out this week and Buy Me a Coffee with Buy Me a Coffee. I do appreciate it. We're coming to the close of November already. Thanksgiving is just a day or so away. I hope you all have a great Thanksgiving. But I appreciate them supporting me in Buy Me a Coffee and everybody else that's going by Buy Me a Coffee. I put a link in the description if anybody wants to help out with Buy Me a Coffee. I would appreciate it. I don't know, folks. What do you all think? Thank you, Graybeard. I hope you all have a great time. Thanks. Yeah, I got Sadie something special she doesn't even know she's going to get for Thanksgiving. Be a special day for her. A little turkey and mashed potatoes for everybody. Ha ha, Miss Brenda Sue got boom, 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 boom everywhere. So I don't know, folks, or what is the best thing, because we're in a counter psyop, okay? You're going to have the entire nation spending the holidays. Is it best to just let people talk about the economy's better, gas prices are down, or to go ahead and make a move? I don't know. Black Friday's a big day, Graybeard. I don't know. We shall see. Well, you had Trump pardon the turkeys today, and the day before that, you had Melania put up the Christmas tree. And did you all see Carolyn Levitt and her little boy? I got a screenshot of that. That was cute. Her little son. He had blonde hair boy, just like her blonde hair. So anyway, all right, folks, that's just some stuff that was bopping around in my mind. I've got some other posts I wanted to go through, but they're kind of technical. But it all means a lot to me when I see it all in the big picture. But if I know Trump, he would want to do it all with a bang. Take care of Ukraine and Russia at the same time, have Maduro marched out of there, get some rulings from the Supreme Court on birthright citizenship and tariffs, and announce $2,000 checks going out to everybody. If all that happened, wouldn't that be something? Right? So anyway, I want to thank you all for spending your precious time with me. And I should be going live tomorrow night if everything goes all right. And I probably won't be live streaming Turkey Day. We shall see. So anyway, I hope you all have a great Turkey Day. I'm just looking at y'all's chats. Thank you, Graybeard. Yeah, a lot of cogitating, right? But I think we're on the right track. And I think we're going to be seeing some fantastic things soon. All right, folks, you all have a great night. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.